Jason, thank you for coming on Face Speaks Louder. I can't believe I finally got you on here. I've been ages and email after email, but thank you so much for coming on and talking to me.
It's good to be here.
Now, for people who don't know, Jason, you are now an MS in the Senedd. Right. What constituency?
Pontypridd, Cynmertha.
Oh, right, okay. So that's quite a difficult people to start with. Pontypridd, we down in Neath, but Pontypridd. And how are you finding it so far being in the Senedd?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's a fantastic experience so far. We've been welcomed into the Senedd with open arms. The staff have been great. But yeah, it's been really good experience. So.
Now, I've got to bring this up because you started out as an independent.
That's right.
Then you moved across to Conservative.
Yeah.
And then you went to Reform.
Yeah.
Now, as we know, people love to bring up the Conservatives infiltrating Reform. Mm-hmm. How did you see it coming from Conservatives? Why did you go across Reform?
Yeah, I was a councillor for just under 10 years and I came through as an independent. I've always been centre-right-ish, so I was looking for a home and at the time the Conservatives were offering, more community involvement and you can have this resource and that resource. And I spent a few weeks there, maybe a short period and then soon fell straight out of love with that idea and so swiftly left. But now I will be forever labelled an ex-Tory, which is accurate. You can't argue against it. So it's a fair description. But Reform, as a new entity, everybody's come from somewhere.
Yeah, they have.
We've all got a history, a political history or not, and that was my journey into Reform.
And do you count Reform as maybe having some of the old-time values of the Conservatives, and that's why maybe a lot of Conservatives have gone over to Reform, is because they're basically standing for what Conservatives used to stand for? Well,
I think a lot of people, if you ask them in the Reform, we don't want Reform to exist. I really wish the Conservative Party were conservative, but they're not. We've had 14 years of, what Conservative Party could offer, and what did they offer? High immigration, high tax, high this, high everything. A real disappointment.
Yeah, it's true.
So we want a genuine centre-right party, and Reform is that. A party that, number one, will tell the electorate what they're going to do, and then number two, do it. It's not
a rarity now, isn't it?
It's not difficult.
It's true. Now, you said that the party is centre to the right, and I agree. A lot of people are calling it far right-wing.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you think they've been labelled as that?
Well, I think the left love to throw labels at everything, right? So if I'm wearing odd socks, I'm a xenophobic racist. It's like, it's just, honestly, grow up.
Yeah, I know.
We're not a far-right party.
No.
We believe in strong borders. We believe in controlled immigration.
Yeah.
We believe in being fiscally responsible with other people's money because it's taxpayers' money.
Right.
And that's where our principles stand.
Yeah.
It's not controversial. It's certainly not far-right. But, the days of being offended by those kind of labels, for me, are gone.
Yeah.
Call me what you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to do a good job for the people that elected us.
And do you think it's maybe as well that people are not used to taking the responsibility to actually find out the policies anymore? They just go on looks.
Well, it's the mainstream media.
Yeah.
They've got a big part to play. Every report you see is anti-reform this, anti-reform that. Richard Tice has done this, Nigel Farage has done that.
Yeah.
But when you scratch the surface, 9 times out of 10, there's nothing there. There's no layer there. But people pick up on that. They see the headline.
Yes.
They don't go into the detail.
No, and that's where you get these lefties screaming from the rooftop that you're bigots and racists and
walk down screaming because they've seen something on the news they believe to be true without doing the research behind it.
Yeah. Now there was an incident in the Senedd debates where one of your MSs decided to do a speech and half of I think it was the Plaidies that walked out.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just immensely childish?
Massively.
They're supposed to be politicians sitting and listening to each other's arguments.
So I was in the chamber, obviously, when Joe made a speech.
Yes.
It's a breath of fresh air, what Joe did that day.
It's awesome.
He brought to the table what everybody voted for Reform wanted us to talk about.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. And Plaid's first response was, well, I don't like this, I'm walking out. So if you voted for a politician, even if you don't agree with Reform, you voted for somebody on the basis that they're going to stand up for what you believe in, and their first action was to leave the chamber.
Yeah.
You've got to be ashamed of that.
Right. It's terrible because what it tells you is that if you question what Plaid stand for, they will not answer you. They'll just walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're never going to get straight up answers.
No, but they could have challenged some of the things that Joe was saying. Look, I don't believe what Joe's saying because of this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
And there's a debate to be had, and that's a politician's job, is to hear the debate and make the arguments.
Yeah.
But they just left the field of battle.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I felt immensely embarrassed and immensely proud of Joe for bringing that speech so articulately said as well.
Yeah,
it was different from how a lot of the speeches are made.
Yeah.
But he brought his argument perfectly.
He did. And we've got 34 of these MSs now who all have these kind of things, locked and loaded, ready to go. And it's going to be a long 4 years for Plaid Cymru if they can't stand one debate in a chamber. They've got a long stretch to go.
Now that leads me on to the elections, right? And Plaid, they've been around for years and years and years and years, right? And I believe they were only elected because people were fed up with Labour. Mm-hmm. It wasn't based on their own merit. Whereas Reform, who've been in Wales since 2024, made huge strides in such a short time. But why do you think you didn't take a majority?
There was a definite anti-reform coalesce. People were fed up with Labour. They were looking for somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And I think they were looking for, again, building on this, anybody but reform, and they coalesced around Plaid. I don't think there was, they like to use this term, we've got the mandate of the people of Wales. I don't think they do.
No.
I really don't think they do. People were so fed up of Labour, given everything that's gone on at a national level, that they were just looking to direct their vote at the places.
Do you think there is an actual party for Wales, or is it just people who are Welsh who love Wales that are part of a party?
You unpick that.
Yeah, because if you Plaid, they're always like, we are the party for Wales. Whereas Reform are a party for Wales.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they have Welsh people in it.
Well, we've got, we are proud, passionate Welsh people.
Yes.
There's absolutely no question. We grew up in Wales, work in Wales, we contribute to Wales, we love it. But we are often called English nationalists because we're part of a UK-based party, in which we find ourselves, and it's a nonsense. Our focus is Wales.
Yes.
Our policies are directed to Wales, for the people of Wales, and indeed, a lot of the arguments that we have in the chamber are to try and get Welsh taxpayers' money spent in Wales, rather than being sent abroad.
Sure. Yeah. And that's still happening, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go and see some Welsh trees in Uganda, or the canoes in the Wampi tribe that are solar panel. Those things actually happen.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
So how are you going to be making any changes in the Senedd when you obviously haven't done a majority?
Well, it's quite interesting at the moment. Okay. We haven't got a majority. Plaid do, but they don't have an overall majority. No. So they have to reach out to other parties to get parts of their manifesto enacted.
Yeah.
So that entails a negotiation. So any responsible governing party has to take the position that they have to offer something to get something.
Okay.
But they're just not doing that. No. You've seen that at the recent budget, where they kind of tried to bully their way through. They tried to belittle and cause arguments with people like Labour. They didn't even reach out to Reform to see what we want. We've got 34 votes there. They didn't do that. So they're left in a position now where they're frustrated because they can't pass this supplementary budget, and their hands are tied basically. But
they're elected to work with other parties.
Yeah, it's the nature of the Senedd. You've got to work with other people, whether you like it or not. But you can't just go in saying, I want X and we're going to give you nothing. There's a negotiation that's got to be had. And that's where we come into play, using our block of MSs to say how much of our manifesto can we get enacted through this negotiation. Wow. And that's our position.
So do you think the next 4 years is about exposing the ineptness of how Plaid run in office?
I don't think we'll need to expose it.
They do it themselves.
And, I joke, but there are some good people there. There are some genuinely good people there. They're not all the same, but I think they're just quite small-minded. When they talk about ambition, they're very narrow view.
Yeah.
They talk about ambition on transport. They might, lay on an extra bus or something. Yeah. Close junctions on the M4. Where we want to go and build stuff.
Yes.
Build. Go and seek partnerships for finance. Go and do this, do that.
Right.
So I think their ambition is very, very limited.
Right. from what I've seen, they just want to stick plasters on everything, whereas Reform wants an actual reform of society, of community, and see a lot of changes.
But we're passionate. Wales could be so successful on its own 2 feet. I'm really tired of this argument that Wales is owed this, we're so hard done by Westminster, don't like us. And I understand why they're doing it. Right? They want to, divide Westminster from the Senedd and then say, they hate us, let's go independent. So everything they do has to be viewed through the lens of that's their goal.
Right.
They might not want to talk about it, but that's the truth.
So on that vein, are you pro-independence or not?
No, not at all. I'm a unionist.
Yeah.
I'm Welsh first, but I'm a British guy.
Why do you think the popularity of independence is rising at the minute?
But I don't think they understand the fundamental economics behind it.
No.
They see a lot of the arguments the Plaid are making on how unfair everything is, but they don't necessarily see the other side of the coin where we receive 120% funding per person more than other parts of the UK. So, we are supplemented in that way.
Yeah.
We're part of a broad union. And I really can't see the Welsh public, if it ever came to the point where we had to have a referendum signing off on saying let's leave, it would be a nightmare.
I think we're better together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as an Isle, if you take the wars that are happening right now, because the world is in a shocking position at the minute. There's a lot going on in a very short space of time. We need to stick together because we are more powerful together. I think people, they're very naive to the possibilities of what can happen. Look at the world wars we've had previously. But because it's been such a long stretch, I think people have become very comfortable at the safety that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that can change in a moment.
It can do. Imagine you think about all the extra services that are required under an independent Wales. You need to have border force, you need to have your own welfare. Obviously, we've got the devolved nations now. Everything that comes with that.
Yes.
It's significant, and I just don't think that it's been taken into account.
No. Now, what do you think about Dan? Dan Thomas, is he a good leader?
He is a good leader.
Yeah.
He's taken the party and made it his own in Wales, which has been really good to see from the inside, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of the processes that we see now are as a result of what Dan's brought in. He's built a very good team around him.
Good.
The group office there is thriving. There's a lot of good people in there.
Yeah.
And it's good to see. We're a real force now in the Senedd, and that's as a result of not just Dan, but Helen as well, alongside him as deputy.
Yes.
Who doesn't often get the credit that she deserves. And between the two of them, I think they're doing a great job.
Now, let's again go back to the elections, because I want to ask some questions that I know the viewers don't want to know answers to. The one thing that I think Reform missed the trick on was the media exposure, right? Podcasters, all this, including myself. Why were none of the MSs or candidates at the time on the media platforms? Apart from yourself, obviously, you were the first to do the walking and talking videos, and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon of doing walking and talking videos. But for the likes of myself, who's a political podcaster, and a few of them out there, why weren't they taken into consideration to kind of expand the media reach?
As a relatively new party, I think they took almost a cautious approach.
A safe.
Call it safe approach.
Yeah.
We can't say we avoided scrutiny because we were on just about every political, story that there is.
Yes.
We did interviews regularly.
Yeah.
We've got good relationships with the media. But I think, when it comes to events like this, I do think we need to start doing more.
Yes.
And I think, now we've got 34 MSs.
Yeah.
We can start doing more. We can start pushing people out into the media now.
Yeah, because I think it's important that just because the election is gone, you have to maintain that level of being seen.
It's not even, it's growing.
Yeah,
we've got to, now we've got to prove that we're more than just a name. We're more than Nigel, we're more than Dan. We are positive for the communities that elected us. So you're going to start to see Reform offices open up in the communities that elected us.
Yes.
We're going to be, in communities making a difference.
Yes.
And that's what enables re-election really for me, is if you're successful in casework, if you're making meaningful difference to people's lives day to day, then there's no reason for them not to re-elect you in 4 years' time.
No. Well, let's move to Nigel Farage, because obviously controversy follows Nigel wherever he goes, but not often, not because if he's caused it, it's because that's what the media do. Do you think that he is capable of becoming a Prime Minister?
Not only capable, but he would be an exceptional Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of another politician in my lifetime who would be as patriotic, wanting the country to do well.
Right.
And that's his starting position. And when you've got a PM who cares about the country that much, I think, we would only be on to good things.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people do know this. He's a multi-millionaire. He don't need to do this.
Right. But then
You don't need to.
We see the argument that, we need successful people to become MPs. All right, well, he's a successful person. Oh, no, not that successful.
Not that successful, yeah. Not with all that money. To me, but these are the type of people we need in office because they don't need the money. They're not there for a career.
Right.
They don't need it. They're there because they love their country.
He could be sat at home with his family with his feet up for the rest of his life. But he's not. He's engaged. He wants the UK to be successful.
Right. Do you think maybe as well, going back a year ago, he did try to play it a bit safe with how he approached things in the public sector? Because obviously, the talk about immigration and everything, he seemed to pull back on for a while. Was that just to calm it down, or? No,
I don't think so. I think, he's always been pretty consistent when it comes to immigration.
Yeah.
No, it's not far enough for some people.
Right.
Fine.
Sure.
But we've drawn a line in the sand and said, if you're in this country illegally, you will be deported.
Yes. Which is
it's that simple. It's not controversial. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing controversial in that.
And it's not even down to where you've come from. If you are American or Australian and you're here illegally, you will also be deported.
Yeah. Go and break into America, see what happens. Australia, or, we're just catching up with the rest of the world. We're not doing anything untowards.
Yeah. And what do you think about Rupert reaching out to reform?
I thought, I watched the 12-minute video. I thought it was quite performative, if I'm honest.
Right.
If I'm looking to make a deal with someone, I'm going to pick up the phone, send a text, have a coffee, go and have a chat.
Yeah.
So was it done with genuine intent? I don't know.
Or do you think it forces Nigel into a corner of having to respond?
I don't think it forces him, but I understand that he's already responded and said, look, if you want me, we'll have a conversation, and that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But Restore voters have got to realise that, they're not going to get a lot of elected officials. All they're going to do is enable more left-wing politicians to come in and split the vote. There are some good people there.
Yes.
And I genuinely think that they've got the best interests of the country at heart.
Yes.
But the vehicle for enabling what they want isn't Restore, it's reform.
Right. And what would you like to see? Would you like to see them merge together and work together?
I would like to see the right of politics come together.
Because why is it so divided? Why?
Well, you could say a lot of it is ego.
Yeah.
You see the Tories, who I would say are quite on the left side.
Right.
You got Restore on the right, and we're kind of in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
It makes sense for us to come together. I think, Conservatives now are a busted flush.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
as soon as they realise that, the better.
Yes.
And Restore are just not going to make the gains that they think they're going to make. So the only realistic vehicle for change is reform. And we've proved now in the Senedd that we're more than capable of being a credible political force.
And do you think that maybe people have jumped on the Restore bandwagon because you're not quite as extreme as what they would like?
I think a lot of people have gone to Restore out of frustration.
Yeah.
And I understand it, whether it's around the pace of change or just the lengths at which, Reform are willing to go. We are a professional party.
Yes.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, rather than just, politicians coming out and speaking. There's a whole infrastructure in place there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have left because they don't like that side of it.
Sure.
And they've looked for a vehicle to enact, rapid change out of almost anger, frustration. And I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to make the difference that they want.
No, because Reform have been around so much longer than Restore and done so much more work than Restore. Unless there was a massive change in the political arena which forced people to go over there, then there's just no way by 2029 we're going to see a Restore government.
There's not a chance.
No.
There's not a chance.
They can pause an opposition, I suppose, to the left.
They might get, one MP in Great Yarmouth.
Yeah.
Outside of that, can I name anybody else in their party? No.
No. But do you think anything can happen in the next few years?
I think there will be some kind of a coming together, what that looks like, I don't know.
sure.
I mean, some of the claims or some of the asks that Rupert made in that video were just no way they were going to be accepted. But you could argue it's a fair starting point from which to enter into negotiation. So there could be, deals like we've seen in the past between political parties that could maximise the vote share for each of us in specific locations. I don't know.
Yeah. And so I just want to go through a few things that Reform believe, because I want people to understand what Reform stand for.
Sure.
Because it's not as scary as what some people portray. Immigration. You've pointed out, if you're here illegally, you will be deported.
Yep.
Right? And it doesn't matter what France say.
Yeah.
It is legal for us to deport illegal immigrants.
Absolutely.
Right? What about mass immigration? Is that something that Reform are going to touch on?
Mass immigration, dead against it.
Yeah.
We should be a society that welcomes immigration for the people and the skills that we want to see in this country that we're short of.
Yeah.
Now, if you're here illegally, you will be deported, you will be identified, detained, and you'll be gone.
Right.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yes.
And as we've announced this week, we've got a policy now where we're going to have the English Channel to be the most surveilled maritime strait anywhere in the world.
Right.
Which is the right thing to do. And the message will soon get out there that if you try and make that crossing, you're going straight back.
Absolutely. I mean, if there was a bigger warning that we could, take into consideration, is the fact that Spain, or a territory of Spain, got invaded by over 60,000 immigrants. It's just crazy.
Shocking.
Do you know what I mean? And some of them will make their way over.
Oh, no doubt. We saw interviews where they're saying, we're coming to Alamein.
Yeah.
And you ask them why, because there's a perception that there's this nirvana of free houses, free healthcare, free this, free that.
Yeah.
We need to bust that.
So you would completely stop, if an illegal immigrant managed to come over, you would stop them from being able to have housing, access to food, all of that stuff. They'd have to
identify, detain, deport.
Love it. Now on to the LGBTQ ideology. That's obviously a contentious issue at the minute, especially when it comes to my podcast for some reason. But the ideology that's reaching in the schools to teach RSE in schools, so sex education, where do Reform stand on that?
So we're against RSE being taught at that age to young people. I understand the teaching healthy relationships is important.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that. But I cannot, and we will not subscribe to this idea of teaching children that there are 128 different genders, at such a young age, and effectively brainwashing them into what is anti-science.
Yes.
So we don't subscribe to that whatsoever. But when it comes to, gay and lesbian relationships, not a problem.
No, because it's part of society.
It's not why is it my concern who somebody loves? It's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with government.
No.
People are just free to do what they want. But when it comes to, we're going to give puberty blockers to children, no.
Would you just stop it altogether?
I would, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's controversial in
Well,
itself.
potentially, but it's, I don't understand why a parent would allow that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, it's a desecration
Yes.
of the human body. It's such a young age where people aren't enabled to make an informed decision.
No, but they can't vote till they're 16, so why can they go on puberty blockers and make that informed decision? But you can't even have a tattoo.
Exactly.
But yet you can mutilate your body, at a younger age, which just doesn't make any sense at all.
It's not a temporary, issue.
No.
You're disfiguring your body from such a young age, and that affects you for the rest of your life. And we've seen high numbers of people who have detransitioned, who have been, left with, life-altering conditions as a result.
That's it. Do you think we need to simplify education and bring it back to maths and English, science, do it, rather than all of this, psychology and RSE and all this nonsense?
Yeah, there's an argument, I would say, for, I wouldn't call it simplification, but, a review to make sure that the subjects and the curriculums that we offer children are relatable to the economy that we want to see on the other side of education. So, I'll say this now, during the last election, young people, I think, were largely ignored by all parties.
Right.
There wasn't a credible offer for young people anywhere that I saw. And that's a concern and something that we should address.
Yes.
Because, if we don't address that, there's a huge block of disaffected people who are just going to, get frustrated.
Yes.
So I'll make that point now. But in terms of the curriculum, it's important that we tie it to what our economy has to be at the other end. So what kind of economy do we want to see on the other side? And then we incentivise the education system to meet the requirements for
Why do
our
you
business.
think Wales have the worst education results out of all of the UK?
Well, it's not only the worst education. You look at any devolved area,
Yeah.
health,
We're
education,
performing
transport.
really bad.
Yeah, we've had 27 years of Labour,
It's true.
and you know, there's only a certain amount of results you're going to get from blaming Westminster
Yeah.
without, you know, if we bring people into government who are third sector workers who've never been, in a real job,
Yeah.
who are, career politicians
Yeah.
who've left university to work for this politician. They haven't got the experience to sit around a table, and say, right, I've got to go and make a buck now.
Right.
What does it take? I've got to go and pay somebody. I've got to go employ somebody. What does that look like? What does that pain feel like?
Yeah.
They haven't gone through that.
Right. And do you think that maybe this is the misunderstanding as well for the Reform candidates? Because a lot of the articles that I've seen is that they're not qualified to be a politician. But you haven't picked qualified people. You've picked people who are in business, teachers. They've been in all sectors of the economy.
We've got, I don't know what qualifies somebody to be a politician.
Probably someone who's been to Oxford to me, and it's ridiculous, isn't it?
There's a lot of the public schoolboy stuff. The team we've got at the moment is so broad.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the Reform team we've got in the Senedd.
Yeah.
There's some brilliant people in there, and I can point to any one of them and extol their virtues. But there's a wide range of backgrounds there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that makes us strong is,
Right.
we can pick up on any issue more or less and go to somebody on our team who's got expertise in that area.
Right. I love it. I love what you guys stand for. Next question. Do you believe we are a Christian nation?
We are a Christian nation.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, that's where we base our beliefs and values.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think we've lost our way in that.
Yeah, we have.
Sadly. And, the church has got to take some responsibility in that as well.
Huge responsibility.
This wokeism that's kind of crept over has diminished the value that I think religion has on people.
Yeah. Would you scrap the church in Wales, or would you reform it or encourage it to be reformed? Because Cherry Van is,
I would, I don't think scrapping it is
the answer.
It's not if a political party came in and said we're going to scrap a religious entity. No.
All hell would break loose, wouldn't it?
But I would certainly encourage them to, get back to their roots effectively.
Right.
They're there to give people hope.
They are.
They're not there to brainwash people into, 17 different genders.
They seem to be at the forefront of encouraging it, which is bonkers to me.
Yeah.
Because Christianity is about you were born in the image of God.
Right.
And why would you want to change that?
But it can be such a powerful good. And people can really hang their hats on and turn their lives around based on having a strong faith. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I understand. I've seen some of the success stories, and I mentioned, Plaid and the work the Victory Church do.
Phenomenal work.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Especially around, addiction recovery and things like that.
Yes.
So I've seen the power of religion, and it does play a role in society.
Yeah. But, churches are responsible for food banks and community projects. So you take away those and you've taken away the community hub.
Right.
So I mean, so would reform, help that and aid that and fund that?
Well, I think it's important for government to supplement any part of society that's looking out for another part of society.
Yeah.
But when it comes to do we have any specific policies on throwing millions at churches? No, we don't. But we would actively encourage society to keep giving, keep supporting those in our community who need it.
Yeah, I love it. So what's your plans now running up to not just obviously the elections for Britain, but your plans running up to the next Senedd election? Are you looking to take the majority?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how are you going to do it?
So we've got effectively a 4-year audition now in opposition for the Senedd. We've got council elections next year. We're going to put quite a lot of effort in putting together a team of people who will make a real positive difference to the lives of the people in those real communities.
Yeah.
So our focus is there. But like I said, we've got 4 years in the Senedd now where we've got an opportunity to demonstrate to people, number one, we're a credible opposition, but number two, what a reform government could do in Wales. And we will be night and day versus what we've seen over the last 27 years.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it because I think you guys have been a great opposition so far. in the Senedd.
Thank you.
Watch a lot, and it really is amazing to see. Love Laura Ann Jones as well. She's one of my favourites. But no, you guys have done amazing, and I pray all the success in the Senedd, and then hopefully we'll see a reformed government.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And see where you are back then.
Absolutely.
But thank you for coming on the podcast, Jason.
Absolutely no problem.
Thank you.